Ornament Anchor. And this company is pretty interesting. See, their bio is saving Christmas one ornament at a time. Ornament Anchor keeps your ornament from falling off the tree, keeping them in place, making sure they're secure. Dogs, cats, toddlers, vacuuming, tips and bumps. Traditional ornament hangers only drape or hook over a branch, leaving precious ornaments at risk. With Ornament Anchor, sentimental ornaments no longer have to be left up to chance. Ornament Anchor's patent pending loop and pull secures ornaments safely in place, and each anchor can hold up to 48 ounces, that's 3 pounds, so you can display all your favorite ornaments without worrying about them sliding off and breaking. And the anchors come in packs like 3, 12, 24, 48, and you can score free shipping on any order over $20. The company has a passion for animals. That's why they have the Instagram, Zara the pup, the Ornament Anchor pup, which I thought was cool. I checked that out. And there's really no excuse not to use this hack to protect your most valuable ornaments. As you know, the when I looked on your website, the story you share, it's the business was founded based off a sentimental story. So
Yeah.
why don't you tell us, now that we've said who you are, why don't you tell us, like, how did this start? Like, what is it that you decided, okay, you know what, that's it, we're doing this?
So I was in fourth grade. Right now I'm in seventh grade. There's a school project coming up, and it was make your own invention. And I was really excited, but I couldn't think of anything to come up with an invention. I come up with a couple of ideas, but I didn't really like them, and I didn't really think they would work. So I was just trying to think of an invention, and then I looked over at my Christmas tree, and I saw my dog Zara. She was acting a little rambunctious, and I was like, wait, that's the perfect idea. And I got my mom, my dad, my sister, and my brother, and I told them, what if there's a way to keep our precious ornaments safe? Because year after year, we break like 3 or more ornaments, and it's so annoying because those precious ornaments. It could be an ornament that your kid made. Now he's 20, and you can't. And if it breaks, you can't get that back. So I was like, yeah, and so many of those stories for everyone happens. So I thought this would be a perfect invention. So I made a prototype with my mom. I found all the materials. I got it all ready. I made a bunch of prototypes, and I brought it to the school fair. So a couple months later, I was ready to present. And once I was presenting to the whole school, everyone was like swarming my booth. There's like, can I buy some? Can I buy some? This is so awesome. And at that moment, I was like, this needs to be a real thing, because it was so great. It was such a good feeling to know like everyone loved my product. Even at the end, when I was walking to the car with my grandma, a lady came after us and was like, wait, can I have some of your ornament anchors? They're really cool. I need them for my tree. So we gave her a couple of prototypes. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Man, okay, so that's definitely not the
Yeah.
lemonade stand story. That's next
Yeah.
level. So you guys have a
Hey.
family of designers, is that correct?
Yeah. So yeah, we've got a family of designers, and so my wife, and she's the uber entrepreneurship, and it runs in her bloodlines, right? So generations of
Yeah.
Americans, who started different businesses, and that's how she grew up, right? Watching her grandfather and then her dad, and all having different businesses, and being part of those, right? That was ingrained in Amanda, right? And so she could do everything, right? So any
Yeah.
business she can create, whip up a business like this. So she has passion for graphic design, and she self-taught herself graphic design, right? So it was a passion that came to her, and she just enjoyed it and just learned more, and started to put her product up on a platform, Etsy, a few years ago, and that grew from 20 cents all the way to 25 plus employees, multi-million in revenue sales, right? And just creating,
Yeah.
and I think the mantra of our family, and also from the story of Ornament Anchor, is authenticity. We're creating
Yeah.
products, right, that make a difference in lives, right? And so that's what we really look at. We think outside the box. And we also, in design, I know Amanda and her team of designers, Amanda does that when she looks at designs and products. And that's the same thing with Ayan. Like, he wanted an invention that was a difference maker, right? And it was something that he wants to be passionate about. So
Yeah.
it helps to have that in the team, that entrepreneurial spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I definitely feel like our parents really helped motivate us. They really taught us a lot of what we know, really helped motivate us and helped us through all the tough times we've had with our business and stuff. And they've been awesome supporting us.
Cool. Right. So how did you guys go from being a smaller, given you guys have a whole
Yeah,
fleet of entrepreneurship in your history, but
yeah.
what was the turning point where it went from being a little boutique thing to really
Cool.
turning into a full-fledged business? I mean, this is we're talking finance at this point. How
Yeah.
did you scale that?
Yeah.
So the company really started when I was having a year in homeschool, and I wanted to do a class in entrepreneurship. So I said, hey, remember that awesome invention you made, Ion?
Yeah.
Do you want to be partners on it? And so that's really where it started. Then that year we did Christmas fairs, just local craft fairs we went to. And I remember the first time we went to a craft fair, we were so nervous. We had to go up to people and tell them about Ornament Anchor, right? And I was like, you go, and he was like, me go.
You go.
So I went first, and we got the first sale, and it was really just us bouncing off of each other at that point. And that day we were super successful. We were like the most successful fair at the whole place.
Successful booth at the whole.
It was really. We were even competing with the guys who sell free cheese.
Oh no.
So-
Yeah. Right.
And that's kind of where it started. So that year we did tons of craft fairs and stuff. We made over $1,000 in one day that day.
Yeah.
That first day. And that really sparked in us like, wow, people really like Ornament Anchor. This is something that's gonna make a difference in people's lives. So then we had a successful holiday season. Then we talked to QVC, and we were like, hey, do you want Ornament Anchor? So that's basically where it all started.
Yeah, and I think the litmus was, Mikhail, right? He had his entrepreneur, and he really wanted to get into business. So, fast forward, it was like Amanda and I were like, well, we're going to teach you, and you're going to learn the nitty gritty. This isn't just like, here's a few bucks and put a product up, and we're going to start selling it. And he did the talking to lawyers and getting the patent date. Let's work on a patent before we start anything else, right? And why is a patent important? Understanding that concept. To then, getting that going, to then working and building a website, right? So the boy, he had to understand, okay, where do we want to build a website? How are we going to build it? What the words are and stuff. Then beta test your product, right? So I said to them, look, a great way to beta test, and that's for all entrepreneurs, is you really have to get your product in front of your audiences and get real-time feedback, right? What do you like about it? What do you don't like about it? Can it sell really quickly? Because if it can sell really quickly, you're onto something. Everybody has a great idea. You have to put it out there. And so that's where I said to them, and this is not something that, me and Amanda said, we're going to do in mom and dad. Like, you guys want this business. We see a potential in it. Don't get us wrong, but you have to now hustle. You have to put in the effort. You have to get your hands a little dirty and then see and build this up, because that's how all entrepreneurs do it. And that's how all entrepreneurs that you look up to, the Elon Musks of the world and etc., they've done that to get to that pinnacle. You have to know all the ins and outs.
Definitely.
So the great way was, last November was building this company was, let's go to local craft fairs in our region and put your product up, put a table up, and show it to customers, people interested in holiday stuff, and see what sells.
Yeah.
And that was where they got the actual, okay, hook, line, and sink. Day one, 6 hours in, 1,500 in sales. Day two, 1,500 in sales. Okay, so they're like, okay, we got a product.
Definitely got a product. Yeah, we'd wake up early in the morning to go to all the fairs, and we were always nervous. But then once we started, we were on a roll.
Yeah.
We went up to people and we're like, hey, you want to check an ornament anchor? Do you know what an ornament anchor is? All that type of stuff. Like, no, and we're like, let's come show you. And we demoed how ornament anchors, you can even flip your Christmas tree upside down. And it was so great to see all the people like, oh my gosh, this is such an amazing idea.
It's funny.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I only woke up that early to go to Disneyland. But you
Yeah.
guys have a different type of Disneyland, a more profitable Disneyland. That's really. How do you guys manage like regular education with such an awesome education in business? I mean, do you guys get bored of school because business is so fun, and not just because it's making money, but because it really engages you? Is that something that
Business is definitely something that I know we feel very passionate about. And in terms of the balance between school and business, it's like this year, Ion's doing homeschool. It's kind of a thing we do where, every year in 7th grade,
they'll go to homeschool. So right now, Ion does a lot of the business side of things.
Yeah.
And fulfilling orders we both do together. So we have almost a set time after school. Then let's go do some Ornament Anchor stuff, right? So, and our parents are always there to help guide us. So yes, they do want us to be independent, but they help guide us so much, and they're really our guiding spirits in the business.
Yeah, I think that the question also, Philip, was kind of like, he's asking like kind of your brain, like, are you itching, like you have traditional school, but like, are you itching to get to all this problem solving? Like we talk about, like, what's our marketing strategy Q1 2021? What are we going to do 2021, right? We know what we've put in place right now to sell, but like, so those things. So he kind of wants to pull at that from you guys, and like, how challenging is it to learn, algebra, but and all of social studies, but then from the business side, like, where does that come from?
Yeah, I feel like for me and my brother, it's just always been like, ever since we were kids, we would learn in school, like, all right, you can have so many different jobs, but you could also be an entrepreneur and you could make your own business. So I was like, what's the point of working for someone else when you could be your own boss? Like, I bet me and my brother both thought that same thing. Yeah. So we've always, since we were young, we've always wanted to be entrepreneurs. And I feel like, yes, a lot of times it is tough because you have all your homework, and we're getting older too. So we're getting more homework, and it is tough sometimes to try, like you said, learn algebra, but also manage your business. But I feel like me and having a team of entrepreneurs, me and my brother helping, it's like we have all of these people helping us too. So me and my brother to bounce off of, and so our parents help us a little bit too. I feel like we make a great team, our different personalities.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell the family ties are strong. And the reason I asked that question is because, if someone's listening, it's going to be an entrepreneur more than likely. And they have children too. And they probably want to teach them some things, but the children may not be interested. So I just wonder if you recognize how unique it is that you're so passionate about business at such a young age. When I was your age, specifically, I was more interested in going outside, running around, and business didn't cross my mind. Now, I don't know if that's because I personally didn't have business owners in my family, but it's just cool to see not only one, you are both articulate, and you have no problem taking direction from people who might know more than you, and that is your advantage, because then because of that, you're able to find yourself in a position where you can really accelerate the growth of your business. And it's really inspiring on the other end here to see that, how you've taken ownership of your roles and really gone to the next level. So now that Ornament Anchor is established and it's running, like, what is the day-to-day for you? What do you feel are the biggest challenges that you're facing currently?
Well, right now we're just trying to get our product in front of as many people as possible. Since COVID hit, so many people have been affected, like we all know. So it's harder because, like, our main thing last year when we started the company was going to fairs and selling. We'd make good money, but now we can't do that. There's no fairs to go to, so you have to find other routes, other different ways we can go to bloggers and like TV shows like Good Morning America and QVC, which we were on recently, which is really an awesome accomplishment for me and my brother. So just persevering and not giving up and just trying to find new ways to do things, I feel.
Yeah. The growing challenges just for me in guiding these guys is just, you've got a product that's shown you that it can sell, right? And we'll jump back a little bit, but after last season, kids and I with Amanda were watching the movie Joy. And someone told us to watch it because it reminds us of their mom, Amanda, of an entrepreneur in the 80s. She brought a mop up, Joy, and she went on QVC, right? And she was just like, I've invented a way to create this mop, right? And that movie inspired the kids because she went on QVC and she failed, and then she went on again and didn't, and then finally she went on and the product sold, and now she's, this mega person, Joy Magano. But after they saw that movie, right, and they were inspired, and they're like, hey, first of all, they don't know what QVC is. They're like, what is it? These guys are YouTubers, right? So this is the YouTube generation. They're like, what is QVC? And so we kind of said, this is what QVC is. And they were both like, well, this is perfect, because if it's still on now, Ornament Anchor is the perfect product for that audience. It will sell with a demo, with a little bit of a talk. This thing sells.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, as soon as I watched that, from my experience, I was just like, well, her product is a problem and a solution. Ornament Anchor is just like that. This product belongs on QVC. So
Yeah.
then
definitely.
he contacted QVC. We talked to them, and within 2 weeks they said, okay, we'll buy your product, we want you on. And then within 1 week later, we had a purchase order in our hands, and that felt
exciting.
incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going, so Phillip, so we're going on a high, right? January, we're ending, we're on a high. We're like, okay, so we've talked to QVC, we've got a purchase order from QVC. We got a plan now for 2021, right? We want to go to some of these big buyer market fairs where Walmart buyers might be there and Target buyers and stuff, and start trying to see Home Depot, like, all right, do you guys want to test us out this year? Put up a little bit of product. You know, and then COVID comes, right? And that's where Small Business America, right? And so this is the heartland, right? So we're that, you know, not only does our graphic design business take a big hit, right? We're big into wedding and bridal shower and graduation space. And that's not happening now, those events. These guys start seeing all these things we were pinning on going to, well, they're not happening now, right? And so now, but it's great because look, you know, what do we have? We have a 13-year-old, we've got a 12-year-old that are learning business. This is business. It is not linear. You're not going to go like this, ups and downs. And we've talked to a lot of successful entrepreneurs, right? And that, you know, other people listening to that podcast is really successful in different genres, like real estate moguls, you know, e-commerce moguls. I talk to a ton of in that networking space, and everyone says you have to be ready for the up and down as a business person, right? And if you're not ready for the down, then that's when you're not planning correctly and not being ready. So they got a taste of, yes, December, November, Jan was good. Now we're getting ready to make plans in Feb. And what's this? There's a global pandemic now. We can't get to this.
That's huge, though. What a lesson to be able to learn so early on, especially at the magnitude that it's happening. Because while there are ups and downs, it isn't always this bad either. And so if you can experience this and come out of this, what you're going to be prepared for it is going to be amazing.
Yeah. So those are the challenges, right? And so
so that's interesting. So you guys have adopted new ways of marketing, given the COVID and not being able to be in person. You guys have adapted your marketing strategy to sort of fit that.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. So we, you know, and we kind of huddled together the team and said, okay, we can't show it to buyers, you know, and what's our next strategy, right? We know our main selling time for our product is going to be Q4. You know, that's when, you know, people are putting up the Christmas tree. So we have to prepare for that. And then how are we going to get taught? How is the world going to find out?
Yeah. So we're just trying to find, you know, when we huddled together, we're trying to find creative ways to, you know, rethinking how we can sell our product. So that was mainly what we focused on. Like, okay, we can do this, we can do this, we can do this, right? So then we contacted Good Morning America and a couple other places as well. And then, you know, we're looking at just all the ways we have, you know, if we're doing Facebook ads and PR and stuff. So we're just trying to find as many different ways that we can get our product in front of people.
Yeah, because we knew that since we couldn't go to fairs, we knew that the only other route we have to go to is obviously the internet, social media, and like Instagram, and just getting ads like Facebook ads and all that stuff.
And I think the big thing, Phillip, with that was that, you know, we don't have bags of money sitting around to just be like, okay, we're going to throw money on social media and stuff. And so it had to be a calculated risk-based approach. And what we said was going to be, you know, where we can play in, right? We can't play in every medium and be really good at that, right? And so for them to understand that and teach them that and say, okay, we can do this. No, let's just look, we have some buckets, which are bigger buckets, right? Which is, let's contact Good Morning America, right? And that's part of us teaching these guys entrepreneurship, that it's okay to pick up a phone or send an email out and cold call. If you want to hustle, you have to hit the ground running, right? And there is no, hey, this is it. So let's contact them and say, we've got a great product that we think America's going to love. Put it on TV. You know, what does it hurt? If they're not going to reply to you or they don't pick up your phone, fine, try again. Then, you know, also we said, okay, we're going to, you know, the internet is a very tough space. You're competing with a lot of people, a lot of ad spend, money goes in. Let's just create an awesome company with an awesome product with an awesome customer service and really focus on some things like Amazon, right? So we said, look, Amazon is the big beast in the room, right? And the kids know that. You mean you search for everything on Amazon, everything they're like that. There's the link to Amazon and stuff.
Especially my sister, she always goes. She's like, she just dreams about all the things she can buy on Amazon. It's so funny,
right? And so this generation, I mean, and so it's like, it's great. Let's just focus on building a great experience on Amazon with our product, and let's put all our really there and stuff. And so we were lucky that, you know, we were able to get the product live and start getting a lot of people to start buying it. Amazon saw it, and then they contacted us and said, hey, we think you guys would be perfect for Amazon Launchpad. It's meant for small businesses who have a great story and have a greater calling, and it's a great purpose behind it. So they really try to find companies that are just launching and then help them. And they said, you know, we encourage you to apply. We applied, and, you know, long story short, so we're part of Amazon Launchpad as well now, which is good because you get a lot of cool help from Amazon.
That's cool.
And then, you know, so that's cool and stuff. And we really focused on that. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So now you guys are on Amazon Launchpad. You found ways to put together a strategy that's going to position you for success in the coming year. So what are your plans now? The whole time it's just going to be as much PR marketing as you possibly can. Are you thinking of expanding your product line? Where are you going from here?
Yeah, perfect. So I think, you know, the strategy we have now is, you know, PR is an important component of the strategy, right? So we've got PR is a great strategy because, you know, there's also a great story, Phillip, behind this, right? So we had another product, and the boys will tell you about their experience, but in 2019, we aired on Shark Tank for another product company that we had, Kudo Bands.
Cool.
And these guys actually pitched to the Sharks, and they went on and they cold pitched, and Mickey and went up against Mr. Wonderful on the numbers and whatnot.
That was a lot of fun. Yeah.
And so, you know, seeing that aspect of it, right, and knowing that, you know, so we said, look, listen, that there's always the chance of trying to get back to that point, but PR is an important component of the great story, right? Look, you've got a story where all the entrepreneurs and all the Shark Tank alumni and everybody talks about perseverance, right? What does it really mean though from a business owner, right? You know, and like keep trying, or one time, you know, whatnot. What better message is it where you've got a couple of young kids who went on Shark Tank and they pitched their product and they pitched their heart and soul out, and they prepared like crazy for it. And you've heard the stories, you've seen Shark Tank, you know, you've seen adults bomb out on the pitches and not other stuff. These guys went cold. For them to then we didn't get a deal, right? So there's a little bit of rejection. There's a little bit of we didn't do it. And from them to rise from that and not just take a no for an answer on national TV, to go, and Mickey will speak to some of that experience of learning from that.
Yeah, it was like, the feeling you're going on to Shark Tank, you're at the set, everyone was telling us, oh, we don't want to be on the same day as you guys. You guys are doing so good. You've got everything lined up for you. Like, you're totally going to get a deal. And then we go on the tank and it didn't work out. So, you know, it's definitely a crushing moment knowing that, you know, you just went on like national television and failed. But we didn't look at it as a failure. We looked at it as an opportunity to get better, to get stronger, and to improve. So then, you know, Ornament Anchor came around and we were like, okay, this is where we're gonna rebuild. So, you know, obviously we did the whole holiday season and stuff, and, you know, it's definitely, sure, it's sad that you failed, but you have to improve off of it and you have to build off of that failure. Yeah.
Well, you guys have the right mindset, that's for sure.
Yeah, and that's the great story of it. It's like people talk about it, perseverance, but these guys we're actually showing it because it's like, okay, good. You went on Shark Tank. What did you learn from it? What did it teach you? How did it make you better as a business person, as an entrepreneur, as a human? Now apply it. You have another business idea and they want to put their names back out there in the national spotlight and say, hey, we've got another product and we've created this and this is a better product. And let the chips may be, you know, and so that's perseverance. That's the story. That's the angle These kids can do it. Anybody can do it. Anybody listening out there who's got an idea that maybe has not been successful the first time around and now has another idea, keep going, keep doing it. Learn from what you learned from the first one that might not have worked out and apply it to the second one. Because you don't know which idea is going to be an idea that's going to be your aha moment, but don't let one failure stop you.
Yeah, it's like it's not like we failed because we can keep on going and trying. You fail once you stop trying.
Yes.
So we kept on going and going and trying to make new businesses and new ways to go about it. And then Ornament Anchor came around and we were really excited and we knew it could be great.
See, that's awesome. That's awesome. And I bet you the next time you guys get the opportunity to be on there, because you will, I know you will, you guys are going to be way more prepared than anybody else who's on there, just based off your mentality. So my question to you is, a lot of what business is when it comes to like getting things done is also has a lot to do with relying on other people, right? Where some people believe that independence is the pinnacle of human excellence. Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People talks about the idea of interdependence and truly learning how to work together, which is something that your family values has given you from the beginning. So that interdependence also extends out to people beyond your family. So if there was anybody you could meet that might take your business to the next level, because you never know who's listening, who would you love to meet?
For me, I would say Richard Branson. I would love to meet Richard Branson because, especially my mom and I really love Richard Branson. I feel like because his story, it's amazing, just a real entrepreneur story. He's a real person, and because he's had so many companies, so many businesses, and a lot of them just haven't worked out. But that never stopped him, and he kept on going and going and making new businesses, and now he's this amazing, huge success, which I really look up to him.
Nice.
Thank you.
I mean, he kind of took mine. So, I think,
Elon?
I don't know. No.
No, but see, that's interesting. That's interesting that it's okay. You can share the people you look up to, obviously, but it's interesting that someone like Elon, you're like, no, it has nothing to do with what you're interested in. And I think that's cool that you can be someone who said, no, I mean, it'd be cool, but it's not who I want to meet.
Yeah. So I'm very passionate about all things sustainable, all things electric, right? And Elon Musk really inspired me because, he never stopped. There was at one point where his company, SpaceX and Tesla, they were about both to crash, right? It was like right before Christmas. And that one week he got 2 contracts that saved both of his companies, one from NASA and one from investors. So it's, his story kind of inspires me that, you can persevere, you can go up. And I look up to him by his values because his companies are very green based and I look up to that. Yeah.
Right. But if you had the chance, you'd still meet Richard Branson over Elon Musk.
Well, I mean, you never know who's listening, so I can't say.
and I think the thing that they love with Richard Branson also, and we've talked about it is, you can't, experience is also pivotal, right? The amount of cycles of business cycles he's seen, right? And he was a young buck who started something and revolutionary at that time. And everyone's like, well, you're starting a record company with just yourself. And so they didn't nobody thought he could do it, right? He broke the mold. He went into so many businesses and he wasn't afraid to jump into businesses, even if it meant that didn't work out, right? And so the vast amount of businesses he did, between, everything. And then the great thing I think they learned from us looking at him from an entrepreneur was, lastly, was that he understood when something was not working, that maybe it's time to pivot now, instead of just trying to put a square peg in a round hole and it's going to work. At some time, as a good business owner, this is a great tip, is at some time you have to understand we really have to pivot and this business is not working anymore, or this strategy is no longer working, and be okay with that. And have no regrets in that. So I think that's why we kind of all think that he might be a cool, but yeah, there's so
that's
many.
Awesome. That's awesome. Hamza, is there anyone you would want to meet?
Probably just from not so much business, but I'd probably say President Obama. I'd love to sit and just and just get 10 minutes of his time and how he navigates through through everything that he's been able to do, so.
Yeah, he's a great guy. So I would also love to meet him.
Yeah.
So.
I'll put you guys on the guest list next time. No. No, this is awesome. This has been a great conversation. I can't thank you guys enough for opening your hearts and your story to me and this podcast and the listener, every single one of them that's on here. It really is an honor and a privilege to be able to see such young minds aspire to such great things. And I'm really excited to follow your journey as you guys continue this process. Thank you again for stopping by. And honestly, let's stay in touch. Let's stay in touch and keep you guys going. Because who knows? Maybe your next product line, we can talk about it on this podcast too.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, no, thanks.
Cool.
Yeah, thanks, Phillip, for having
Yeah,
us. And
thank you so
we actually could have during quarantine. These guys came up with something else that actually went on Kickstarter in October and kicked it out of the park. So when
And then our little sister has something else that also still needs to patent it. So
so it's
we got a lot of ideas in our brains.
Huge respect. So if anybody wants to find you guys, do they contact you on Instagram, or where would be the best way?
So there's a bunch of avenues. You can find us best on our website, and you can send us something. So www.ornamentanchor.com.
If you have any questions, we'd be happy to answer.
Yeah, I love
talking to our people.
All right. Awesome. No, well, thank you guys for stopping by, and we'll let you know when this airs.
Thanks a lot. Really
Thank you.
appreciate the time.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.